Happy Sunday, everybody, and welcome to our monthly group meeting for hashtag Scent365 Tribe. And this is for our November monthly meeting. Obviously, we have a lot of things going on with Scentsy right now. And so, um, with our regular Tuesday trainings that I do in the support group on Facebook, those are going to kind of be all about how we're going to be working the LTOs, those limited time offers, what we're going to be doing for pushing our business, how we're going to be focusing on, because it's, the 15th of the month, right? We've got the last half of the month to go. So for those of us who are still working on those PRV goals, working on those sponsoring goals, maybe you are working on the annual sales award that Scentsy does. Okay, now some of you are definitely getting there. One of the things that gets you to that award is consistently working that business, and at least that $2,000 every single month in PRV is really going to be like a key factor of getting you there. So I know that for a lot of you, that is definitely something that is within reach. We also have the annual mentor award, and I'll talk about that for just a second, simply because I personally have very utmost respect for that. Not to say that annual sales is not something to be proud of and is not amazing in and of itself. It is. I personally, because of my mentality and as a leader, I'm all about bringing everybody up with me, right? We're all here, we're all working. And being able to see that come to fruition is really, that's like the icing on the cake for me. So last year I did earn my first annual mentor award. And what that is sponsoring a minimum of 14 people throughout the qualification period. And that goes from um, April 1st all the way to March 30th. I might have those two dates mixed up. But anyway, so it's a little bit different than a calendar year. So um, that's the basic time frame that you're looking at. But the goal with those, it's not just for sponsoring 14 people, okay? That's wonderful. But where the real magic lies in that award is you have to have those team members sponsored are actually going to be coming in and getting to certified. And so when they get to certified, that's when they start counting towards that annual mentor award. So you at least have to have 14 um, team members that you have personally sponsored to get that. So that's one of the other things that we're going to be focusing on, again, more in those weekly team chats. So for the monthly group meeting this month, I really wanted to kind of focus on really pulling out our servant mentality. And so I know that I've had a lot of conversations um, just within the last couple of weeks about inspiring your team members, those people that you're talking to about joining your team and all of that. How can I get them to be inspired in their business? How can I get them excited to launch their business? Those kind of things. So that was really the thing that kind of spoke to me as to this is probably what we need to talk about this month. So having a servant mentality is something that definitely changed the way that I work my business in a major way, And so I'll say that it's definitely something um, that I think that we all need to be looking at. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and just do this right now. Okay. Because there is a book that I just found out about. And I want to say it was like on Thursday or Friday. I was doing my personal development, right? And so I can't even remember where it came from, honestly. But whatever it was that I was looking at, they talked about a book, um, and how it really kind of stood out. And again, it has to do with that servant mentality. And the book I will share with you, I did get it off of Amazon, of course. If you know me, anything that I get is usually either from Target or Amazon. Take your pick. It's right there. Or Etsy. I'm a big fan of Etsy and, supporting other small businesses. But the book is called The Servant Leader's Manifesto. The Servant Leader's Manifesto. And it's by Omar L. Harris. And this is a relatively inexpensive buy. It is $6.99 and it just is in a paperback. Okay. I was going to see here if it had a Kindle version, because sometimes a lot of these books you can get for free on the Kindle version. I don't see it here, but you very well may be able to get it there. I will link it, but like I said, I got it off of Amazon, The Servant Leader's Manifesto. And what really kind of stood out to me was that it really is all about having that server or that servant mentality. And I'll just read a short little snippet of why I think this is going to be a really great read for us in our business. So it says, I'm sorry if you can hear Hero. He's, showing that he owns this yard. Okay, leadership today is outmoded and ill-suited to activate and engage the most diverse workforce in history. A little bit of backstory. I will tell you guys that when it comes to the workforce, we are in a very unique position in where we are today, right? Because we have so many different generations working together for the very first time. And I'm not just talking about Scentsy, because I did this when I was in my corporate job for the health system. And we talked about that generational divide, right? So you have like the baby boomer generation. You have the Gen X, you've got the Gen Z, you've got millennials, you've got everybody who is now kind of working together. And it definitely does take um, a different driver to inspire each individual generation there. So, and it says, this is why leaders capable of inspiring, engaging, aligning, coaching, and coaxing out individual and team brilliance are more in need than ever before. Hence the reason for this manifesto. Paradoxically, the answer does not lie in systems, but in humanity. The more technology pervades our lives, the greater our need for clarity, courage, caring, culture, and talent cultivation, all things that machines cannot create for us. We cannot wait for C-suite executives to respond appropriately to this crisis of employee engagement. Now, we don't have that for us, right? But um, he is a former pharmaceutical executive, so he's not somebody that I would normally read from, but he has a new revolution that revolves around servant leadership. And so he does take from a lot of the leadership experts, one of whom is Stephen Covey. So if you read any kind of books, you probably are familiar with Stephen Covey. Amazing. Um, and so it's kind of along the lines of that. And that's, again, why I thought it was a really good one. And again, the name of the book is The Servant Leader's Manifesto. The Servant Leader's Manifesto by Omar Harris. So I will link that too, though, if we need to do that, and definitely share it with you. But like I said, I just ordered mine. It'll be here on Wednesday. Like I said, it's very inexpensive, $6.99, and it'll be a really quick read. But like I said, I was watching one of the other, I don't remember if it was an SSD training. I don't remember honestly what it was, but they happened to mention the book. And I was like, okay, that kind of sounds something that I really need to look at. So I think it'll be a really great one to kind of go for, because when we talk about being able to serve others, it really has to do with more of the inspirational side of things. You guys know that I have said time and time again that you cannot motivate somebody to do something. The only thing that you really can do is to help inspire, because motivate, and I think I've broken it down in a couple other videos, motivation has to come from within, right? Nothing anybody else can tell me is going to make me motivated other than me motivating myself and saying, I got to make this change, or I want this to be better, or I want to grow my business more. So I need to put in the work. Same thing if it comes to, losing weight, if it comes to working on a relationship, when it comes to raising kids. Oh my goodness, right? So we have to be able to motivate ourselves. To inspire others, though, is what I've always kind of referred to as pulling the magic out of people, right? Showing them that they are worthy in their right, right? All of us are different. All of us are unique. We are all authentic in our own individual ways. And so being able to inspire somebody is probably the reason that you may have even have joined Scentsy, because it may have been because you started following somebody on social media, or they were a friend and you saw their post or things like that, right? That somehow, some way inspired you. It gave you a spark, right? That's the thing that we can do for others. We can inspire. And that's really where having that serve mentality comes in. So we're going to break this down into the difference of team, and I'm going to go old school back to my roots, because you guys know, like back in the day before I went into healthcare, I actually worked for Disney, and not at Disney. Gosh, I wish I would have. But they had I don't know if they do anymore. I think it's all website now. But they had a Disney catalog, and I worked for Disney as a guest service relations person, right? Basically, it was customer service. When something went wrong, that was me who they talked to, right? And Disney has always been one of the most amazing companies when it comes to retaining their customer base, knowing what they want, knowing what to give them, knowing how to serve them, right? And so I'm going to go old school and try this out for a while, because I really want to, again, change my mindset. And so by doing that, I need to change some things that I'm doing in my business. So we're going to talk about team, and we're going to talk about guests. And that's where I said I'm changing a little bit in the verbiage, because normally it would be customers, right? What if we looked at customers like we looked at them as guests? So again, I'm taking that directly from Disney, because that is what Disney does. You will not see the word customer service or for our customers. Even if you go to a park, if you go to a Disney store, if you go online, whatever it is, right? We are there to serve our guests. And so it gives the mentality of, you feel special, you feel welcomed, you feel like, "Oh, I'm part of something, right? Like I mean something. I'm not just a customer." And so maybe we can spin it a little bit to give our customers a little bit of a different experience, right? Because we're all about how can we stand out. There's a lot of different Scentsy consultants, obviously globally, right? We're global. So there's a lot of different consultants out there. So it's all about how we can stand out. And I think one of those ways is if we kind of move more towards this serve mentality. So first we're going to talk about our team. So how, and again, this all rolls back into inspiration. How can we inspire others? How can we get them more engaged and more wanting to be involved in their business? So with the team, the first thing that I'm going to talk about, which I think a lot of us have this already, but creating a team page. So even if you haven't yet sponsored anyone, or maybe only have one or two people, you may think, I don't have a reason to have a team page. And when I say team page, I'm really referring to Facebook, right? So like a Facebook group or a page. But I think that if you were going into this saying, this is going to be a business, this is what I'm building to, right? Like, let's look forward. Let's have that forward mentality of, this is where I'm going to be, right? So having that ability to kind of look ahead. So if you want to look ahead, creating that team page is going to be a really great thing, because what that team page should be is really more or less a landing spot for our team members, right? So when we want to give them training content, when we want to maybe share images or graphics, or maybe we want to bounce ideas off of each other, or maybe we just want to have a place where we can put, recognition, things like that, right? This is going to be that landing spot for your team. So even if you don't have your team yet, that's okay. So go ahead and start building the resources, right? There is nothing that is going to say that you can't be having a foundation being built without the team being there yet, right? You don't have to have a team to start building that. So you can start doing that literally from day one. And then as you grow your team, as you have people that you will sponsor, then you will bring them on and you'll see that that will start to grow and bloom and blossom from there, right? It may turn into something completely different, but the main goal there is to be able to serve our team members. We want them to have a landing spot of where they can go for resources. Resources is the number one thing that people want when they are doing more of what we do, right? A network marketing, a direct sales business. They need somewhere they can go when they have that question, and maybe you're not available. They need to know, where are my resources? And that team page should be one of them. Creating a system for onboarding. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm in the thick of that right now, of quite literally brainstorming and redoing a whole onboarding campaign, so to speak. And what I want that to do is onboarding. So that's when people join for their first 70 days, I really am going to be building upon this whole onboarding session, right? Because it's within those first 70 days as a consultant that you guys probably, even if you haven't been around that long yet, or maybe you have, you're like me and you're like, yeah, I've known about Scentsy for quite a while, right? Been doing this for a minute. When it comes to those first 70 days, that's normally when you see the people who are either excited and have a plan and want to move forward, have goals, are just soaking up all the knowledge they can. Or on the flip side are the people who are, I don't understand how this works. I don't think that I'm made for this. I can't get any sales. Nobody is responding to me. I don't know what to do. I think I'm just going to give up. Usually that kind of happens within that first 70 days. So if we can help capture those first 70 days and really put more intention and servant mentality behind those first 70 days, then that very well may be the tipping point of helping our team members, A, stay engaged, and B, getting them on the page where we are, right? So if we're able to do that, if we're able to really balance that out and keep that good, then those first 70 days are going to be crucial to what we're doing. The next thing is you're going to reflect on what helped you. So when you join Scentsy, if you can sit down and brainstorm, when I joined Scentsy, what were the questions I had? What were the roadblocks that I encountered? What were the things that it took me forever to figure out? Or maybe, you're still like me in a lot of things where I'm just like, I'm still figuring it out, right? There's no judgment, there's no shame, right? Been doing this since 2012. I will never say I know everything and how to do it the right way. But if you can reflect back on what would have helped me during the first 70 days as a consultant, how can you duplicate that for your new team members or for your existing team members? And this is another thing too that I'll touch on briefly. I didn't put this necessarily into my training notes here, but I think it's important to say, because I personally have done it lots of times, that you can relaunch your business. You can restart you and your business and everything that goes along with it at any time, or as many times as you need to. Sometimes that helps you with new ideas. Sometimes it helps you to refresh your outlook on the business and being a leader and sponsoring and helping to train and being a good resource, right? So reflect back on what would have helped you and how you can duplicate that. What can you do to help those team members as they come on? The next is going to be setting your team culture right away. You guys know I'm huge on team culture. I think it is honestly one of the most important things when it comes to sponsoring is having a good, strong, present team culture. Um, this is going to look a little bit different to everybody because we all lead in different ways. We all learn in different ways, right? So if you're somebody who is maybe more type A, and honestly, maybe I need to do the whole Enneagram thing and figure out where I land on that scale. Maybe that would give me more clarity too. But you guys know that I'm all about training and really teaching and sharing all of that thing, all of those things, right? So for me, being able to really set that team culture in concrete, it may very well look like a mission statement, right? This team is here to build leaders so we all can have the businesses that we want and desire, right? You can dig into that team mission, create that mission statement if that's something that feels right to you. But just helping to establish that team culture again from the beginning, or if you need to start over and refresh everything up, then look at it from that way. How can I create the culture that I want with my team? What do I want them to be duplicating and doing and, giving to others, right? Another thing with your team when it comes to serving your team members is determining your check-in touch points. So this kind of goes along the way of an onboarding system, right? Like I said, I am in the thick of revamping an entire and creating an onboarding system right now. And as soon as I get all of that done, I of course will share that with all of you. But I'm really just trying to refine what is the best way to onboard new team members to get them to um, be familiar with the team culture, to be engaged, to be keyed in, and how to keep that going. So determining those check-in touch points kind of goes along the same route, right? Now, I don't know if you've done this before with your team members, and if not, then it's something you can definitely start to do, right? So sit down and figure out that system of when you have a new team member who joins your team, right? So do you send an email? Do you try and have a phone call when they first join? Do you text them? Do you, if you're already friends on Facebook, is this more of a let's set up a Facebook chat so we can talk things out, right? Kind of figure out what feels right and what is going to work well for you. Don't set it up to where it's going to be something that you cannot keep up with, because I will tell you, honest to goodness, you have to keep in mind, even though you think that maybe I'm just building a team or I haven't recruited yet, or I only have like 2 or 3 people on my team, so this doesn't apply to me. You need to be prepared because we are in hyper growth, but at the same time, your vision, remember, we're looking ahead. We're looking at the next 5 years. Where do we want to be in this business? What do we want our income to look like? What do we want our team to look like? What do we want that team culture to reflect? And so, if you can set up a system for check in points and determine, okay, I'm going to connect with them on the first day that they join, right? Whatever that is, the welcome, the hey, let's chat, let me get to know you better, whatever, right? Maybe it's a week later and you're like, okay, then I'm going to send them like a little packet in the mail. Maybe you're somebody who wants to create a little, welcome to the team packet and get that sent out. That's a fun thing to do. Just don't make it too extravagant. Again, remember, you need to be able to duplicate this, so don't give away the farm. Then it needs to be, how can you help them along their journey of, those first 15 days is their shooting star, right? We don't get that time back. So how can you make sure that you're setting up those touch points to help make sure that if shooting star is something that they're working for, that you're there to help them and remind them when their 15th day is and what they need to do to accomplish that, right? Getting that first 500 PRV in those first 15 days. And then again, basing that onboarding timeline to reflect the shooting star timeline, which is the first 70 days, starting from the day they joined until their 70th day. It doesn't matter if their starter kit comes a week later. It starts the day that they join. So we need to determine what are those times that you're going to check in with those people. After the first 70 days of someone being on your team, then you should at least have some sort of a rhythm or some sort of an idea of what they want out of this business. So if you need to have those discussions with your team members, have those discussions. What do you want out of this business? Are you wanting this just as a hobby? Do you just want to make extra money to get paid on what you're already buying in Scentsy? Or are you looking at this as second income? You want this to in 5 years be your full-time income. You want to retire yourself and or your spouse. What does that look like? Do you want to be debt free? What does it look like? And so knowing their why and knowing what they need and want is going to help you serve them better, right? It just is. So now we're going to flip to what is formerly known as customers. I'm going to change this mindset and it's going to be my guests. So your guests, right? With your guests, having that servant mentality. So we want to be able to create experiences for our guests, right? We want them to experience Scentsy. We don't want them just buying Scentsy because there's a difference. If you don't think there's a difference, there's a difference. And I can tell you because I can look in my Amazon shopping history and tell you that there are things that we have bought just to buy. Does it mean that we use them? Did it mean that it was something we really needed? Is it still sitting in the package? Is it in the coat closet? Not being used, right? You can buy anything. But how can you create an experience for that person? How can you make that person want to, when they've ordered a warmer and wax or the cleaning products, what have you, right? How can you make sure that they're experiencing that? Do they know how to use the warmer and wax? I know for us, it seems like, well, hello, right? Like, you plug it in, you turn it on, you put a light bulb in, and then you put the wax in. Let me tell you, and I know that I saw Lisa Sanderson shared this, I think it was yesterday. I don't know, it was my day off, so I didn't look at too much online. But I wanted, I'll ask Lisa to share it in the group too, but it was a picture that, and I don't even think it's one of her customers. I think it's somebody else that shared it with her, that they had bought a plug-in or a mini warmer, right? And they plugged it into the wall upside down because either that's how their things went or they thought that's how it was supposed to go. I don't know. Because remember on our plugins, they can twist it, right? It doesn't matter which way the plug-in goes. But either way, they've got it plugged in. They screwed the light bulb into the little mini warmer, but instead of, obviously, right, the dish is now on the bottom. So either they weren't sure what to do with the wax at that point, but what they did is they actually put the wax inside the mini warmer and then screwed it into the base. So literally the wax is melted inside of the warmer. Again, we may think that everybody knows how to use a Scentsy warmer. Doesn't necessarily mean everybody does. So we want to create those experiences. So if that maybe means creating like a short 2-minute clip of, hey, you just got a Scentsy warmer. Here's how you're going to use it. Show them, you pull it out of the plastic or out of the plastic bag and out of the box and you plug it in and you set it down. You make sure the light bulb is there. How do they know what light bulb to get next, right? It's on either the bottom or on the cord. And it will tell them what the light bulb is that they'll need if it ever burns out. How to clean their dish, maybe. Then you can do a second one that's maybe, again, just make them short, 1-2 minutes. If you're not comfortable being in front of the camera, don't. Then just show them, right? Have your phone or whatever setting up and just show them this is how you put the wax in. When it's time to change the wax, here's what you do, right? And those can be, again, you want them to be short and sweet. They don't need to be a long thing, right? Because for one, they're probably not going to watch it. And for two, they really don't need that long of an explanation, right? But those are things that maybe when you're following up with those guests, at that touch point to where maybe you've thanked them for their order and now, okay, you see in your workstation that they've received their order. Now I want to ask, like, how did they like it? What did they think of the scent or the product or whatever it is, right? And that's when, if they've ordered a wax and warmer, maybe you can send them an email, send them that short clip and as a link and say, Here, in case you have any questions, feel free to watch this 2-minute long little clip of how I changed my wax. Hopefully it helps you. Let me know if you've got questions. And when you're ready to refill that, I'm here for you. So something short and sweet. Again, that's going to create an experience. Because let me tell you, I shop at a lot of different stores. Nobody from those stores ever calls me and asks me how I'm doing. So we want to be the exception. Another way to serve your guests is to have a page to connect with them. Okay, so again, if this is Facebook, it could be Facebook. If you've got your own website, it could definitely be that. But obviously, I use Facebook. I have what is my VIP Hangout, right? And so that page is really what I use to try and connect with my guests. So another thing that you really want to think about with those VIP pages or those customer pages, whatever it is you're calling them, right? Try not to have it all be about Scentsy. Throw in elements of you as a person or what you love, your family. Remember your why, right? So connect it with your brand. What are the things about you that help you stand out? And how can you better serve them in all of those things? Um, and again, don't let it all be Scentsy. Sprinkle it in with either things from you, or maybe it's just funny things that you find on the internet, right? Share a link, share a meme, whatever it is. Just a way to help connect and build those relationships. That's a great way to serve your guests. Another way is communication. It really has to be a main priority, and especially during the holiday season, because as we all see, right, these holiday products come out and some of these are selling out super fast. Some of them we're getting a second chance and they're bringing them back. So again, communicating those things with our guest is going to again help create that experience of my Scentsy person knows exactly what is going on. They obviously, are paying attention in the business. So I know if I have a question about a product or when something's coming out, I know that I can ask my Scentsy consultant, or I can just check that VIP page that they have, and they usually are pretty good about it. Up your communication. And you don't have to work harder when it comes to this, okay? Sundays for me, usually it's Sunday evenings for me, is usually the time where I will sit down and schedule posts for those pages. So your VIP page, if you're just starting out and you really want to work smarter and not harder, and you don't want to put in too much time during the week, or you have the other job, you've got other stuff going on, then take a little bit of time on the weekend. And maybe it looks like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I do it from the couch while we're watching TV, right? I either have my iPad or my phone, and I'm just sitting there, and I literally will just schedule out posts. And I'll start with like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then I'll start going back and maybe scheduling some other ones on other dates or other dates and times, right? Get that done and out of the way. That way, you have your week open to where if they have a question that maybe they post in your VIP page, you're there to just answer questions. Or maybe you're just interacting with something that they've already commented on that you posted. Oh my gosh, that warmer looks amazing. When is that coming out again? That gives you the perfect opportunity to just interact and take the stress off of, oh man, did I post this week at all in my VIP page? I am totally guilty of that. So I know that if I don't schedule those posts, sometimes some weeks are crazy, right? Life happens, or we don't feel well, or something comes up, or we're trying to work our business and close a party. And the last thing that we sometimes remember to do is to post in that VIP page. So if we can do that better, we're going to serve our guests better. And then finally, when it comes to our guests, how do you stand out? So, what are some of those things that you can implement? Like I said, those short little how to clips or videos, right? Like I said, make it 2 minutes or less. And probably lesser is probably better, right? But just a simple changing of the wax, a simple of how to use a diffuser, a simple of this is me spraying the Scentsy fresh on my bed every day. This is just what I do, right? I've got a dog and cats. I want to make sure that my couch doesn't smell like dogs and cats every day. So I spray it down. Your customers are going to want to see that because those are things they can relate to. And if they maybe are not as familiar with those other products, like our laundry, the counter cleans, the dish soap, things like that, right? It's going to help them realize, oh yeah, there's other products. Oh, I remember. I totally forgot they had dog shampoo. Like I had one of my own. She's one of my best girlfriends for years and years and years. Um, and it was so funny because it was probably Instagram. I honestly don't know, but I'd made a post or something and I had talked about it. And she even brought it up. She was like, "Don't forget the dog shampoos." And I'm like, duh. Like if it's that, if I've missed it to where my customers and my friends are commenting to remind me, hello, I need to do better, right? So those are things that we can help implement because even us, right? We get as Scentsy consultants, right? We usually are pretty excited about a lot of stuff happening. So it is very easy to forget about the other products and how they can implement them into their lives. So a great way to do that, like I said, stand out. How can you stand out? Maybe it's those short videos. Maybe it's going live. Maybe once a week you go live and you just share what you've been warming. I know that there's a popular video trend on YouTube. I've never really gotten into it, but it's, I think, I want to say Lisa Roberry, who's a director. She's been doing it for quite some time on YouTube. Um, and where she actually will go through and talk about here's my empties of my Scentsy, right? So she like literally goes through after she's warmed all of her Scentsy and shows, what she's been warming, what she liked the best, what was a good scent, this and that, right? So maybe thinking about something like that, just another way you can serve your customers and connect with them on a different level. So I'm going to end up this training and talk about with that serve mentality, how can we serve our team members? How can we serve our guests, aka our customers, right? So these are the things that we need to be doing consistently. We need to be showing up. We got to show up, whether that's in our VIP page for our guests or on our business pages and or for our team members, we've got to be showing up. We need to be present. Present. This is a big thing that I see more or less at like Scentsy events where, it's a big thing. And some of you haven't gotten the chance to experience it yet because hi 2020 and COVID, right? But when we have family reunion in person, we have world tour and things like that. Obviously, we know world tour is virtual this year, but when we start having these things, even if you're on meetings, it's really good to just be present because, like I said, when I go to these events, people have spent money, they've traveled, they've left some of their family, their families, their kids, whatever behind. And then I look in the audience and all I do is see people just checking their phones and looking at Facebook. And it's like, we have to be present. We have to be here for our business because these are the things that are going to help us. Always be learning. You need to consistently be learning. Consistently. Once a week, like I said, Mondays is kind of my personal development day. But that's not to say that there's not other days during the week where I am watching other videos from other leaders within Scentsy, or maybe I'm just looking on YouTube in general for just social media ideas. I'm really trying to perfect my Instagram reels, right? And figure out how to do all the fun transitions and things. And so I follow and I look for videos on YouTube of, how to do Instagram reels. And I'm literally always looking for ways that I can do something better, that I can get better at it because I have to be learning. Consistently edit yourself. I think I talked about this last week, and I don't remember where I talked about it at, but just kind of taking a step back and looking at your own social media and your own website or pages, right? What are you showing your customers in the world? So do you need to edit? Are you doing more salesy stuff? Are you posting more flyers? Maybe I am. Maybe I did seem to post a lot of sales stuff last week. Okay, so now I need to edit that. So next week or this coming week, whatever, right? I'm going to pepper that in with a little bit more of me or personality or just sharing what I'm loving this week. So we need to consistently be editing all of those things. Another thing consistently to be doing is evaluating your systems, right? Like I shared, I am totally revamping my onboarding system. Okay. I'm trying to get it down to a better way to be able to connect with these new team members during those first 70 days, because I think it's an essential time period that we can connect with them, that we can help them, and that from that point on, those are the things that they're going to take with them along their business and along their Scentsy journey. And lastly, of course, I will always say this, you consistently need to be authentic. Be yourself. It's great to find that inspiration from other people on social media, in the team groups, on the pages, on Pinterest, on YouTube, whatever. But we got to make it us. How can we make it us? How can you put yourself into that? Taking it from concept to now I need to pepper it with the Jacqui sauce, and now I'm going to put it out into the world, right? So look for ways to be authentic. If there's something that you absolutely love with Scentsy, share that. Don't be afraid, or don't think that your customers or even your team members, maybe maybe they want to hear from you from the heart. Like, what is it? I talked about this earlier too, about, just remembering to share your story, because that alone can inspire someone. That alone can help maybe another team member or another Scentsy consultant, maybe even outside of your team, look back and go, "Oh, see, this is what I need to be doing." Those are the people that we normally will follow on social media, right? So we need to be surrounding ourselves. We need to be authentic to, what does this business mean to me? What do I want out of this business? What does it give me? So how can I share that with my team members, and how can I share that with my guests? So we're going to work hard. We're going to stay humble. We're going to try and work towards that more of servant mentality. How can we serve better? How can we give better? So just like with Scentsy, right? We really want to be giving. We want to give more than we take. And that has to extend into our teams and into our guests and the experiences that they're having. So that's where I'm going to leave it for this monthly group meeting. Like I said, we got a lot of stuff happening in November. So those Tuesday trainings that we'll be doing, and then those of you looking for the Bliss Happy Hour, we got Bliss Happy Hour happening in about a little less than an hour. So we've got that going on. I cannot remember what we're talking about in the happy hour this week, but I'm sure it'll be good. It's always good. It's always fun. So I talked about it in Transformation Thursday. Thank you, Kimber. Okay, see, somebody's got to keep me accountable. All right, so I'm going to stop this recording. I'm going to tell y'all that we are going to really start to gear up. Like I said, we are here, believe it or not. I don't know if Heroes saying hello. I don't know if you guys are anything like me, but hello. We are now in the back end of November. We're coming into December. We're finally going to be able to welcome in a new year. And I know that I am not alone when we say, let's hope 2021 is going to be a lot better than this has been. So we're going to try and really go forward, and we're going to try and make sure that we have a good plan going into 2021. So that's really what I'm going to focus on as we go into the rest of the year, is our plan for the next year. What is it going to look like? How can we set it up? Because I can tell you, well, I can't tell you because I'm under NDA, but I can share with you that 2021 in the world of Scentsy is going to be huge. We're going to get lots of new surprises and things happening. And this is the time that we want to gear up. We want to be ready. We want to have these systems in place. So that way, when all the good things start, we're going to be ready to go. And it's going to be amazing. So I love you guys. I am going to put this up on replay so everybody has a chance to see it. Like I said, I know that it was a little bit of a time change, but we will, of course, still next month. It'll be December 15th. Hopefully it shouldn't run on a Sunday. That was the only reason I had to change the time for this one, because I didn't want to overlap into the Bliss Happy Hour. So we're going to stick on the schedule. Thanks for hanging with me and with the time change and everything for this one. But like I said, I know a lot of people couldn't make that last minute change. So this definitely will be up for replay, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.